Now, because of time, I think I'll just open up the floor so that you can ask questions. We've got friends from Shanghai. We've got a lot of people in the room who are keen to learn more about these NOx reduction options, in particular perhaps on LNG. So please fire away your questions and raise your hand. Let me know you want to ask. Jeff.
Thanks. I just wanted to follow up a bit with Richard on potential implementation of LNG in Hong Kong. I guess I'm having noticed from Penny's earlier slides, how many hundreds of miles, in fact, the pollutants can travel. It seems very important to also control the emissions at sea, and I guess a plus of LNG is that it's not just in the port, but during the whole, crossing the ocean and everywhere else that the emissions are abated. But in terms of use, I'm sorry I haven't followed the news on this closely. Is CLP going to start using LNG to fire their plants, and would this potentially drive a lot of volume just for importation? I forget. And then how far are we off from creating the receiving points for LNG in Hong Kong?
Okay. Are we on? Okay. We are currently working for CLP on an LNG project, and I can't say too much, but in public they have said that they are interested in exploring a floating storage and regasification unit to bring LNG into Hong Kong. That's what they're there on record. And they're doing that because the power companies are being requested to change their fuel mix to burn more gas, but at the moment the existing gas supply is through the through the gas coming from Turkmenistan or Uzbekistan, 4,500 kilometers, and it's incredibly expensive. So to bring new gas into Hong Kong at a reasonable price, they're looking at LNG. But they're looking at it primarily to solve their power supply problem. That's their number one issue. As soon as you start to say to government, we need to solve our power supply problem, but also let's look at other commercial objectives, they are moving slightly away from their number one absolute need. And I don't know whether that will feature into their thinking as they look at LNG supply. What we should be looking at is the existing terminals in, say, Da Peng that already have off feeds by trucks from the terminal, and perhaps they're